Hi, Cancer. I'm really excited to expound upon this reading because these two cards really go together. We have these three. Okay. I think you can see them all. I like to have like jazz music playing like all the time. I think that's really helped too. My ability to like get things done. You know, a lot of people play classical. I just turn on these YouTube things with like really pretty backgrounds that play like jazz and piano, and I love it so much. Okay. Yeah, the change is vast. The healing, I should say. The healing for the change. This is about emotional regulation. Wheel of Fortune. I see that sometimes as circulation, regulation. This is about being you're just like very honest with yourself. Sorry about that noise. About how hard you've worked and how hard you've been working. And you now, I think you acknowledge more than ever that you no longer have to work in the way that you have been. And I think that's where that rush comes in, or that impulsive or aggression comes into play. You have been able to do a lot with discipline. However, that's possibly what's potentially blocking and has been blocking the emotional regulation, is that sometimes an order and having discipline with things is very important. Routine, very important. But your emotional health either one requires it and relies on it, or two needs a break from it. Because sometimes we need to be able to know that everything will be okay if the routine ceases to exist. And then sometimes that routine gets us out of feeling sad or depressive waves or actual deep depression. You may want to break and rebuild a contract, and this could be a contract with yourself. You know, all these agreements and are the beliefs that we have, I believe, are like the contracts we make with ourselves, but really we have the ability to renegotiate them, right? Not to make beliefs so transactional. They're not, but you can come to a point where you are able to then see, okay, this is what I've just been allowing myself to commit to. And now I want to put that, because now I'm experiencing this integration and deeper understanding on a mental level, what's going on within me, what's actually been blocked, and perhaps blocking some blessings. You have sight from within. You have strength. And it looks like you have the dominant hand in this negotiation. This may have been something you've been thinking about for a couple months or even a couple years. Now, with this, even you can call it not a confrontation, but this meeting to change, to shift, to ask for more, to ask for your worth, you know, to present yourself, whether at a career or to the public. You're recognizing the strength that it takes internally to stand before others and ask for more, knowing that rejection can be on the other end. However, it's a cardinal way to assert yourself. And Pisces season's like, yeah, go ahead, assert yourself if you fucking want, you know? This protection, or what you've been defending, or this person who just can no longer hold up against themselves, is making room. They were possibly blocking some creative potential. But you have this whole spiritual, insightful moment. It could have been, and can also be at a time this month when you are experiencing some internal struggle that you need to shed light on. There has been a lot of pressure, and pressure is being released, so take care of your head at this time. You're going through a huge shift before we enter eclipse. Eclipse season is, I think everyone's being prepared for eclipse season. That's what I've been seeing. Because if our relationships get iffy or weak, then we can become weak too. But then if we clip off the right person, the right relationship, we can also become stronger. Right? And to be able to take the risk and change and to shift and allow whatever you need to and this person or the situation could represent a big pattern in your life that's changing. And your ability to, it's not that you're just leaping beyond and jumping off a cliff. No, it's that you are being given the space to happily move on from whatever has been exhausting. 10. Then we have the 5. Will it come with a grievance period? Probably. But what better time to grieve? When you're allowed that space in a water sign season. Because it wants you to make room for all that's coming through. Will that take somewhat of a perception shift or a letting go to have a realization? Yes. But it comes from, the catalyst is that initiation to have a meeting, to have that hard conversation, to have that negotiation, to have that confrontation. Temperance is also Sagittarius, and well, they welcome it, and so does Mercury. Mercury will be going into retrograde right after the first eclipse in Aries. So I think this is getting you ready for Aries season, because Aries season won't start off maybe with a bang, but you'll have to acknowledge what you've been grieving. Maybe it's the side of yourself where you can both be adventurous and comfortable. And you're wondering, okay, what has stopped me? And now you're able to easily bring yourself back there to a more fulfilling place, because that's how you add more love. And Cancer's like an adventure, whether it's creatively through art or traveling or both, or traveling to a place for art. Or experiencing art that takes you to another, that makes you feel like you're traveling, right? That's what you want to feed into. That's the space you're entering. If there's a Gemini in your life, they may be really impactful at this time. They may have a lot of insight to give, and they also may want a commitment from you. This looks very romantic. And they may be very in support of this change that you're going through. This Sagittarius may have been or has become quite a pillar in your life, but just know they're also going through something too. So if you sense codependency, I think both of you may need to acknowledge that. The change in what is fulfilling to you now is a question that you'll maybe having experiencing for a couple months. Lots of tens, lots of culmination. You may also realize that experiencing your skills in your life, whatever skill that is, and being willing to be open to new ones is a huge part of what makes you feel alive. What gives energy and light to that brilliant intuition that you have and what abundance is to you. I think this grievance period, even though it can feel short, is very insightful. You know that you can have so much, but you, again, that shell, you may be getting a new shell in the beginning of the astrological new year, a cardinal season. It's okay to dream this month. It's okay to allow those dreams to heal whatever has been present and working towards those dreams. Not that you're someone who lets that stop you, but I think you can work on many different things, but it's that one dream that you've always come back to, because I know you have it. This year, just promise yourself that maybe you'll try it this year. Or maybe it will run into you, the right person at the right time. These Pisces placements look, it seems as though they want you to experience more. And what is very what's real right now for you is that when it's time for bigger things to happen and things to shift, maybe a defense mechanism comes up. Maybe you feel like you're not worthy or deserving of it, right? Maybe you go through a period of shock, being defensive, and then just procrastinating or holding yourself back. The Queen of Wands and the Empress are coming in to say, like, who are you to not let yourself have these? You know how we say that? Who are you to ... Who are you to say that? Who are you to do this? Well, who are you not to allow yourself to experience more? You're just being met with all the ways in which you hold yourself back. And grieving can always bring you to those very raw moments and very real things and make you, it's like in those moments where a loss has happened, whether it's within yourself, again, a situation, moving on from an experience, a loved one, like actual death. There's this really real energy that falls over our life that makes everything kind of slow down, and you kind of look at everything and wonder, and it's almost weirdly inspiring. For some people, I think it makes them think, what's the point? For people who are creatives and dreamers, I think you can think that, but there is another part of us, I believe, that creatives go, okay, this makes me realize how precious life is, how each moment is a moment to get closer to myself and to what I really want, because these are also maybe affecting you in a health way too. You may also realize that through this expansion and relief, you may feel looser in the hip area. Again, taking care of your lungs, your hips, maybe stretching, your nervous system. You may need to speak up very clearly for what you want, and that's kind of what I see this road is bringing you to, like, speak very clear. Because remember, we started with the Three of Pentacles. like you've been speaking clearly, but you haven't been saying, you've been kind of going around what you need. And it's not until you're upset that you know what you need. And we don't want to, which is not always true, but it can be. And we don't want to, we want to learn, right, to know what we need before. And that's how you learn, is through your feeling. Your emotions teach you that, as you know. So it's okay to build your ego up at this time, even if it feels uncomfortable. There may be someone in your life too that you may want to seek advice or guidance from, that you see as this Empress, this person who, and it could be a Taurus, or someone who just really experiences a life, maybe not exactly what you want, could be too, right? But it's a life where there is equal attachment to non-attachment from your view, right? You can only know so much. Maybe it's someone who is having a child and you look up to them for becoming a mother, or owning their own business, or creating something. Or maybe you are looking at your future self. Maybe it's through Cancer season or Taurus season when things really start to shift. But I do feel like this is just a person in your life that you can go to in this time to tell you to just, like, you know, that shit's bullshit. You know, let yourself feel it. Like, it's real if you make it real, and let it, allow it to be real, just so it can be let go of and die. You know, it's like those moments where we see our shadows and they look so big, and then all of a sudden it just gets so small in the light. What happens when you shed love and light? It sounds so cliche, but what happens, right? When you shed love and light on your position and where you are, you just notice that these people are just afraid, right? They're just acting out of, this person maybe wanted to be invisible, but didn't mind taking, fitting in, even though they're not meant to. This person is constantly in defense. So they are so distraught that, you know, he's wearing two different shoes, or not, didn't put a shoe on. I don't know what that it really is, because these are very old drawings. And this person is like hiding, or pretending to hide, right? See it in many different ways, but in this context, sometimes we have to realize that at the bottom of it, it is about taking somewhat of accountability. There are times where you really didn't know, but then there become times when you do. And you're able to, when you're able to acknowledge these things without feeling judged by someone, and just like being able to express yourself, it releases so much more than I think you could even imagine. I think that's something that's beginning to really grow with you. And it could be through this relationship that you enter as well, or that you're deepening with this person. You may have met your equal, and now you need guidance for this new structure that's starting to form, this new love energy, this relationship that's begun to form and shift. All right, Cancer, we'll see you soon.